I recently asked my subscribers a question. What's the number one challenge that's stopping you from investing in a few properties and living off the rental income for the rest of your life? Billy in Edinburgh replied, I worry about the current economic situation and also the fear of going underwater if house prices fall when I have to remortgage in 2 or 5 years' time. I obviously get a lot of inquiries or worries about the economy, and so let me see if I can address it in this video. Hi, my name is Tony Law from Your First 4 Houses, and my channel is all about helping you replace a job-based income with just a handful of investment properties so that you can give up that day job if you wish and go and do something more interesting with your life. If this is your first time here, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click that bell notification icon so that you don't miss out on any of the free content that I give you each and every week. Billy, it's a fantastic question, or shall I say, thing to worry about. And I totally get it. Obviously, it's all I'm hearing about is the negative aspects of the economy, and it's going to be fascinating to see what's going to be happening now that Joe Biden is president. But I've got a video coming out on that for all of my wonderful American subscribers later. But anyway, the economy, there's no question, it's in a really bad place at the moment. We all know that, especially if you follow any of my monthly property news. It's kind of what I focus on there. Now, the truth is, though, people will always need somewhere to live. We live on an island with a limited supply of places to live. Now, I'm talking about main residential places here. There is a limited supply. People will always need somewhere to live. And so I feel over the long term, house prices will always go up, in my opinion. Now, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you where the property market is going to be 12 months from today. Do you know what? I tried that in January of 2020, and I'm going to put my hand up and say I got it wrong. I genuinely thought, like pretty much everybody else out there, that there was going to be a market crash in 2020. So I have been humbled very much so by the error that I made in that call back in January. So I'm very resistant to making any major predictions for this year, for 2021. I've got a video coming out which is going to touch upon it, but it's caveated because I don't know, and I don't think anybody really knows. But house prices could go down, Billy. It's a fact. They could go down, which is why we should be buying below market value. If you can buy a property that's genuinely 20–25% below market value, and I've done it many times, I know that you can do it, that's below the genuine market value of the property in today's condition, I hasten to add, not in some kind of hypothetical improved position after you've done the refurb, 25% below what it's worth today. If you can find those types of deals, or even maybe a lesser discount, what you're doing is you're building yourself in a buffer. And what that means, Billy, is if house prices do drop, you've got yourself a bit of a buffer. You don't have to worry as much as somebody who paid top of the market prices today. Equally, if you're buying a property where you're adding massive value that's way over what it cost you to add that value, I hasten to add, again, you built yourself in a bit of a buffer by doing so. But we should always remember that what you're buying today, you should be keeping for the long term. You should be investing for the long term, in my opinion. I know other property trainers talk about flipping and so on, and that's great, and I can see a place for that. But I do feel really strongly that where Liana and I have won out over many other property people is that we make a decision today and we plan on keeping that property for the long term. Probably passing it down to our kids, but that's definitely a video for another day as to how we're going to be doing that. But my point is, we're not making short-term decisions. We're buying today. We accept that the property market may do this over the next few years even. But over the long term, because of the limited supply, I do feel very strongly that house prices will go up. But we're buying for cash flow. And that's what I think you should do, Billy. When you look at a property, you should be buying it for cash flow. Will it put money in your pocket today, after all expenses? Money in your pocket that you can spend. Money in your pocket that you can reinvest in another property is what you really should do. I would suggest. Or invest in something else, invest in a business or some other kind of assets. Will it put money in your pocket today that you can use in some way, not some hypothetical gain that might or might not happen? Now, I can't offer you any financial advice. I'm not FCA approved. But let me tell you what I've just personally done. I have some properties that have no mortgages on. In fact, they're my biggest properties. I have other properties that are mortgaged and I've just remortgaged them. In fact, I say just, back end of last year. And I've got incredible deals on those mortgages. But importantly, I've fixed them for the very long term. What did you say? You said you had concerns about going underwater if house prices fall when you have to remortgage in 2 or 5 years' time. Well, I've fixed my mortgages for a long period of time. I can't give you a financial advice. Go and speak to an independent mortgage broker, take their advice over mine. But I fixed it for the long term, and I'm very comfortable in that decision. You need to make your own decisions naturally. Ultimately, though, you don't have to buy now. Don't feel that anyone's pushing you to buy today. I do feel, though, that you should be out there actively looking today and tomorrow and 6 months from now, looking for that cracking deal, because they're out there. And if you're not even looking, well, you're not going to find them, are you? And I think that a lot of people are very much put off at the moment, Billy, by the negative aspects of what's happening in the economy. And they're just sort of saying, no, I'm not going to invest at all now. Don't be that person. Keep active, but put systems in place that flag up potential deals that you can go and investigate further. In our online property masterclass program, I give you all the systems that you need to kind of do this sort of thing. And in particular, I encourage people to sort of set up alerts and to interact with certain, I'm going off on a tangent like I always do. That's a video for another day as well. I'll make a note of that. Put systems in place that enable you to turn up deals even in this current economic climate. But ultimately, you mustn't become a motivated buyer. I had somebody question what that was. I thought I explained it last time very briefly. I get a lot of people that are desperate to do something today. They become so motivated that they're almost going to kind of buy anything. Anything that vaguely works. Don't be that person. Don't be a motivated buyer. If you find a deal tomorrow, awesome. If it takes 6 months, that should be absolutely fine. Don't become a motivated buyer. So Billy, I hope that helps you and anybody else watching this. But before you disappear, don't forget, there's a deal for me doing a video for you. So you get to get a book out of my extraordinary book bag. I'm going to get some decorations and do some tinsel or something on here if I can find some, just to pretty my book bag up. So if I did a video for you, you get one of my free books off of my bookshelf. So let me dive in. And this time, unlike last time, I'm going to go right to the very bottom and let's have a look and see what you've got. This is a book, Billy, that I have never read. I think it's probably one of the few books that's in my bookshelf that I've never read. So I can't actually give you an opinion on it. But you're going to get it anyway. It is Dan Graziosi's, Be a Real Estate Millionaire. It's obviously an American book. If anyone's read this, can you tell me if it's any good? Please let me know in the comment sections below. But Billy, that's going to be coming your way. So thank you so much for the question. I hope that you found it helpful. And I hope anybody watching this video found that helpful. Please keep tuned, because this week and probably only next week, I'm going to be punching out as many of these videos answering your questions as to what's stopping you from investing moving forwards, because I want as many of my subscribers this year to become financially free, so they can kind of give up that day job and, as I say, go and do something more interesting with their life.